See, as far as cloud is concerned, cloud is a very generalized term in today's era. You ask anybody about cloud in IT domain, and they'll have some sort of inputs given. But if you go in some sort of specific details, you deep down further and inquire more, then you get to know like people have just parochial knowledge or parochial information about the cloud. You know, just like you ask them what are the major difference in public and private cloud, your choice will be narrowed down to selected people. But again, if you ask them what are the hidden issues with the public cloud or the private cloud, you'll find a handful of people giving you the exact informations. The point that I want to highlight out here is that all of us is keeping some sort of informations. Information is widely available through different sources and media, but this information is not going to help. There is difference in information and knowledge. It is quite easy to get informed through some external sources, but to have a knowledge of certain things, you have couple of choices. Either you practically experience that particular thing, or you have some sort of experts with you who get you enlightened about the particular thing that you want to know. When I say experience could be good or bad. If it is good experience, then you are on a profit side. But if it is a bad experience, it will cost you, it could be a good amount of money. So I being present on this virtual platform, I'll ensure to get you the proper return of your investment, the time that you all have been spending with us on this platform. Taj, you had been mentioning about the myth. See, myth is something I would like to say that it is a byproduct of any progressive industry or any particular technologies that comes with a very fast pace, and the demand is huge, but still there is a gap. That gap is of demand and supply. Few of you might have some sort of question like, where is that gap? Service provider, they want to offer the cloud and we want to get on board to the cloud. Then how this gap is building? See, I am not talking about the financial gap. The gap which I am concerned here is the preparedness and availability. The preparedness and availability, it comes from both the sides. Understand one thing. In no industry, the first product can ever be the last product. It will never happen. The industry grows over a period of time. When it grows, there are many gray blocks that comes into play. If you are able to apprehend these gray blocks, these gray areas, then probably you will be able to save yourself and your company. To make it even more simpler, I will take you through some of the infographics. See, whenever any product, technology or concept that evolves, it has been brought in the market keeping certain audiences in mind. So when I say certain audience, I am talking about creating the need or addressing their need. Up till this point, equilibrium is set, means the vendor want to offer to something to certain audiences. Obviously a vendor cannot cover the whole market, so they have got something built up keeping the selected audience in mind. On the other side, the people are also happy because they have all the delightful and wistful solution with them. But the moment the vendor wants to expand their business, they go for the market penetration, and obviously it happens over a period of time because no business could be at a stagnation phase. The business has to grow. The business is grown on the basis of different parameter. Either it could be through word of mouth or the customer delightment or any sort of marketing strategy that you do. You actually create a ripple effect in the market. Now this information goes to the wide range of audiences, and then what happens? The people develop a certain sort of aspiration. There is a want among the users. What happens when the want is created? When the want is created, this is the most crucial phase in the market. Why? When we say want and we are trying to address the wide range of audiences, here the audience have the willingness to go on to the cloud in your case, but they need to check Are they actually prepared? Do they have all the criteria to get onboarded to the cloud? Do they have all the process to go onto the cloud? Even if they go onto the cloud, they can afford the cloud. They have gone for all the major minor kind of calculation, and they are pretty much assured going onto the cloud is a wise option, is a pragmatic approach from the organization side. At the same side, the cloud service provider or any service provider, it could be public cloud service provider or private cloud service provider, they need to ensure and assure they are going to accommodate and embrace a wide range of audience who might differ in terms of application. Their performance demands could be different, their storage demands could be different, and there could be lots of choices the user or the consumer might put across to the cloud service provider. And this is where the gaps happen, because both the entity had to develop in order to come on a common platform wherein they create the right equilibrium of demand and supply, and that is where the ideal state of business happens, wherein the consumers are getting what they paid for, and the service provider, they are there to extend the thing, they are ready to give the right value of return to the consumer or to the customers. So throughout this journey there would be gasp, there would be kind of tolerance among the people, but here, because most of the time it has been seen, the vendors try to experiment with the users. Now, I have come across lots of companies who have onboarded to the cloud, but their experience was not very good. I'm talking about the public cloud. There were application performance issues, there was data darkness, and there are a lot more issues which been pain areas for them. Then what could be done in this scenario? That is what the Quorum has brought to you. You will be getting to know more about the Quorum and how we help users who are still on a conventional platforms, but they still want to have the flexibility, agility and scalability of the cloud, the performance of the cloud, and they can be better off being on the Quorum cloud, and they are protected and secure. Okay, I'll just try to sum up the whole thing with a very small example. If I ask my audience, which was the first handset that you had bought? Obviously, the majority of you will recollect the brand Nokia. No? Nokia was the time when we all had moved out from cordless category to the phone category, and it was quite mobile and agile, and you had been given 10 hours of battery backup, and everybody was enjoying the call at that point in time. But fact which is to be considered out here, that point in time when the Nokia was introduced, we all had been living in a .com era. Only the voice was being utilized, but the data was not being utilized. Are you all with me? Are you able to correlate how this industry progression happened? This is what I have been trying to explain out here. The voice was the priority for the users, but suddenly what happens? People apprehend the need of the data. They knew the importance of internet, and that's how the smartphone was introduced, and that's how the BlackBerry came into picture. You all cherish that particular phase when we had BlackBerry and we had our emails coming onto our mobile, and those BlackBerry Messenger and all. It was a different kind of feeling. But this BlackBerry was also targeting to certain corporate customers, probably the white collars. It was not meant for the mass audiences. But again, there was another push which was pushing the industry to the next level. That push was of digital era. We all have been living at the cusp of digital era now, digital revolution. This seems to be the fourth industrial revolution. Apple was quite smart. Steve Jobs had done a very marvelous job. He introduced a product, a very smart product, which was very user friendly, fast, secure at the same time, and it has got all the potential to accommodate any sort of digital demand, or the digital delightment could have been extended to the customer. That's how the market embraced iPhone in a very shorter span of time, and iPhone could acquire a bigger market share. What was happening out there? The journey from BlackBerry to iPhone, it was a journey of .com era to the digital era. And when this iPhone came, that point in time also, if you recollect, we've been mostly on to, browser-based internet. No, we had internet banking. We didn't have mobile banking that point in time. Even if you had to open your website, the website was very hazy on the mobile. Means the user been not ready to promote themselves on the digital platform. But in past few decades, the things change a lot. We have been seeing what sort of digital intelligence that we have got in our day-to-day life. The app market, it is speculated to grow to $800 billion by 2023. So initially what happened? A product was introduced to a certain range of audiences, but at a later stage, the market was smart enough, the whole market was developed, keeping the smartphone at the center. And that is how any or every industry evolves. I would rather say the cloud is an old concept by now, but again there are lots of innovation has to take place. The generalized form of cloud is what? People are either going for the co-location or they are giving the infrastructure. And the most of the users, they've been carried away with the fact like I have been putting everything onto the cloud and I am dispensed with my responsibility and I am totally secure. Actually, that is not the fact. There are things that you must definitely consider. Probably you are missing on some of the very critical things. I have personally been interacting with more than 1,000 plus IT admins since last 1 year. And there was a cloud push. Actually, what happened with this COVID crisis and all, we have been pushed 5 years ahead of time in terms of technology. And that push led us all, we got ushered into an era wherein the business automation was demanded. And that is where the demand for the cloud was more than ever. But people got into a trap. They put everything onto the cloud, then they later got to know that their application is a conventional application. This particular application was developed some 10-15 years back, and that application is not compatible on the cloud, and they had no option but to rewrite the application or to retreat. Retreating back was again a challenge for them because the cost of onboarding to the cloud, the data migration and all, it is not a frugal affair. The people been caught up in a situation wherein they had to consider so many factors. Most of the applications are obsolete and these applications may retain the storage in mind, and the storage on the cloud is different. There is no data darkness. The security is still a concern. Don't think like you have gone to the cloud and your job is done. The actual task starts there when you have to ensure the data manageability, data availability and the data security. And more than that, what I have been saying, and that makes me really upset, the cloud has been treated as a financial arrangement than a technology arrangement. People are trying to make money. They are trying to commoditize the cloud. They have been throwing any price. Backend, they are putting any kind of XYZ or cheap quality hardware. And they have been setting a meter. It is more of a metering than the technology performance analysis. The moment you cross the threshold, you are served with a very staggering amount of bill, and you start pulling off your hairs and you start thinking you should have done something. And this specifically correlate to the situation. I don't know if you all are the Bollywood buff, and I still recollect the Salman Khan was saying, "Aaj main upar asman niche." But after going on to the asman, after onboarding to the cloud, he starts singing like "Lut gaye, hum dil de chuke sanam." So it is no easy choice. One have to have a very amicable decision taken, consider all the aspects, then only decide what suits you. Because ultimately at the end of the day, the data is sitting on the disk. Either it could be on premise, or it could be on a private cloud, or even on a public cloud. It is not that like your data is hanging on the cloud and you are going to pluck it off. No, the data is sitting on the cloud. It is just an infrastructure arrangement, the security arrangements and the financial arrangement that you need to check. Then only you can have peace of mind and you can enjoy the cloud journey. And that is where we help you a lot. Our consultants, they have been trained in such a way that brings all possible issues across table and that help you to take decision.